Hello everyone. Said I was going to do a video about putting some mats in. So I'm going to be taking this carpet up, getting rid of this black stuff and replacing it with some carpet. So I've got a kit from Mad Matz. I'll put a link in the description or something. And it should be original. This carpet's not original, but this carpet's like the original. And that's my neighbour's cat. Wants to say hello. So I'll just run you through fitting. I've not done it before, so we'll work it out together as we go. I've already kind of started. I've already pulled this back to see where. Just cleaning off a bit of silica. I've used a bit of silicone a few years ago just to pin that back in because you get flopping around. Take these trimmings off. If you've got these trimmings in place, they're hard to get hold of. So I'm not sure if I'm going to need them. Probably won't. Surprised if I do, but I'm going to keep them anyway. So if you go to a swap meet, people are looking for stuff like this. I think you can buy this sort of strip anywhere, but these little clips like this, yeah, that's an original VW part. It's actually got VW and a part number in there, so probably really hard to get hold of. So I'm just going to go around there, strip that. I've fitted some aftermarket seat belt clips because I've got proper 3-point safety belts, so I'm going to take that out of there and strip that down. I'm not going to show you me lifting all of this up, it's just a case of lifting it. Right, we've got to a stage now where we're just trying to get the seat out. Pulled it all the way forward with the mechanism at the front. So at the front there, you lift that up and pull it forward, then it stops eventually. That's because you need to lift this catch here over this tab. So this catch needs to be lifted up over that tab, which I can't do on camera because I've got to do that whilst lifting up that and putting the whole thing forward. But then it will just come straight off the runners and the seat will be out. And I'm just going to... Right guys, seat's out. This is what you get underneath a captain's chair. So you can see on the normal seats, the runner is welded straight onto the body. That's how VW did it. But then Westfalia, for certain models, they did this. So they cut away the runners and they made this rotating piece, which for those who don't know what it does, if you push that down, it's really hard to do to Andy, but you push that down and the seat can spin so that you can use it in the cab. So the kit I have purchased is designed for a left-hand drive with one of these, but I've got to take them 4 bolts out of there so that I can take the captain's seat adapter off. So I want to get all this black stuff's got to come off. It's all coming off. This isn't too bad on order really. I mean, it's a bit rough, but I mean compared to the other one, it's all right. But you know, you can't do one side and not the other, so it's all going to be carpet here, carpet up. All right, all the nuts are off. You don't have to worry about these bolts dropping through because they're welded in place, and you can just lift this off. But the issue that you have is that this shaft doesn't want to come out of the hole. See, the hole is very thin and the circle is that way around, but all you've got to do is twist. That'd be very difficult for me to do it on camera. Maybe I can show you. Anyway, you can see it now, it's like dismantled, but you just got to twist it 390 degrees and it should just lift out the hole then. So you can see that when you put it back, it's got to go in like that and then twist and come back out and twist. All this grease here is what I put down when I rebuilt this seat about 3 years ago. I had it all powder coated, as I've mentioned in previous videos. This is one of the reasons why I had this side powder coated, because this mechanism is in good order and I just wanted to keep it nice and tidy, and I shall re-grease it all before we rebuild it. Right, it's a few minutes later. I've taken all the black off, it just peeled off. There it is on the floor. That was original, still got the VW number on it. And underneath there's a foam, and I'm just finding that little bit of gentle persuasion, it's coming away. It's old foam, so obviously it's not amazing. I'm going to have to take this off as well, but I might have to go and get a spanner for that because that's my socket. I can't get my socket on the adapter. 17mm there, because I've already taken the seatbelt ones off from both sides. So I'm just going to keep plugging away. That won't take me very long. You can actually get replacement. If you wanted to go original, you can get those. They cost nearly as much to put 2 of those on as it does to have the carpet, the centre carpet and all carpet. That's why I've gone down the carpet route, so I just feel like, you know, better value for money. Oh, right, so this is coming off. This isn't standard. Normally you don't have these, but this position is standard. The seat belt fixing. So it's, you know, it's just a 17mm spanner. Take that off, and it's just worth having a good look around that area for any rot or whatever. Obviously, you don't want any sort of rot around your seat belt fixings from a safety point of view. Mine's looking pretty good, so we'll move on. So we're a bit further along. That's off. Scrubbed a bit more off. I'm thinking about bringing a hoover in, or vacuum if you don't know what a hoover is, and vacuum cleaner and just cleaning all this up. But I consider before that I want to probably take the middle carpet out, because I'm gonna create a lot of mess there. That side's already off, so if I do a bit more then I think I might take that seat out, give that one more clean over, then I can just hoover the whole lot in one hit. This carpet's already loose for me because I've already had it out and cleaned it. It was absolute state when the van was new, so I lifted it and cleaned it, and under there, you'll see later on, I did some work to try and prevent the rust that was on there from getting any worse, and I'll probably have to do a bit on here by the looks of it. But you've got to take this piece off here. It's between your back carpet and your front and your walk-through carpet. You might find yours is galvanised colour. I sprayed mine black. This is the original piece, but I've just sprayed it black just so it matched to my fridge. So I'm going to take him off. He's got 3 screws. You should have 4, but I can't get to the 4th screw, so I've managed to make it work with 3, and it's not causing me any issues. But I've just got to take them out, then that carpet will rip up. It's very well glued down, just like the front was. But hopefully that will come up and I'll be able to clean that up tidy, and we can move on to the next stage. I'll get the hoover out. I'll probably take that seat out. By the time you see me next, that seat will be out. This carpet will be up, and we'll be thinking about, we'll probably be hoovering it. I'll come back. As you can see, all the carpet's out the front now. Hoover's there, ready to go and hoover up all the loose bits. It's a bit dirty. Something I will make a note of, which is something that you might find, is if you've got an original carpet in the front like me, it's not, you know, it's not been out 40 years. When I did lift it, some of the carpet stuck to the floor. Same with the walk-through, a little bit stuck to the floor, and it was so hard and stuck that it was really difficult to get off. I had to get the paint scraper on it and just keep attacking it until it came off. So just be aware that a little bit of elbow grease is required for that one. I've took both seats out now, and I'm going to do some hoovering. Then if I find any bits of rust, like little pieces down at the bottom there, just in the walk through, this seems to have lost, it's not rusty, but there's no paint on there, obviously from where people have stepped on over the years, so I should do something with that. Got some rust prevention stuff which also acts as a primer, so I should probably put that on there. Well, welcome back guys. Move it around, and you can see it's a lot cleaner and tidy. I'm looking now at spots like this, which is a little light bit of rust. What I normally do is get like a little pistol drill, little wire brush. Beauty with the pistol and the wire brush, not too aggressive, and all I'm trying to do is knock the loose off. So it just goes in there. Knocks back any loose rust. That's all I'm trying to do. And just there, then I'll use this stuff. What I find is best to do with the Bactan is to pour what you're going to use into a separate container so that you don't contaminate your bottle. This stuff's been in my shed sitting for quite some time, so I'm hoping it's not all separated. Now that's there, that's lovely and pink. and it's like a rust inhibitor. Well, it is a rust inhibitor. It changes the rust into a different metal, different substance, so that it stops rusting. But it also seals. This stuff also seals. It's got like a PVA or some sort of rubbery residue, some rubbery content to it. Straight away you can see it going blue, look, as soon as it's hit the rust. I'm not trying to get an awesome finish, so I'm just dolloping loads of it on. There's a little bit of exposed metal here where that whiter brush has just took a bit of paint off, so I like to cover that as well, because this is also, you can use this as a primer, so it'll prime that nice bare metal. And I'm going to use it over on the walkthrough area where we had the exposed, just there where we've got the exposed metal as well. And I'll be using it on all these areas. I'm not going to show you all of it, but the vac tan's been put on. You can see where it's been put on. That big patch there was already covered from a previous time, but I had a little bit of left in my bottom of my tub, so just thought I'd give it an extra coat, because that's like the worst patch of rust on the van really. As you can just see, this one's already turned black. I'm starting to turn black. I mean, that was all underneath, that vac can was all bare metal, so it was silver, so that means it's reacting with the surface and converting the rust to something else. Now, I'm not plug-in Vatcan, I have no affiliation with Vatcan. There are other rust conversion products on the market, and it's a minefield trying to find out what works and what doesn't. I've used Vatcan. I've got no reason to believe it's any worse than anything else. It hasn't sort of been a complete failure where I've used it, so I'm sticking with it. It's reasonably available on the internet from various places. But I know I'm just going to go and walk my dogs, let this sort of rest for an hour so that it's reasonably dry before we start putting the carpet down. Like I said, I've not done this before, so I don't know how easy it's going to go. I'm resisting completely gluing the carpet down all over, because I feel like gluing the carpet down all over might cause me problems. You can see I've got patches of rust. In the future I might need somebody to come and weld a patch on. And I'd like to be able to lift the carpets. I don't want to have to buy new carpets because I've ripped them getting them up. So we'll be going through the process and trying to work out what's the minimum amount of gluing we need to do. But obviously I don't want carpets flapping about all over the place and just annoying me. So I'll see you in an hour or so. Welcome back, everybody. As you can see, I've just dropped down the first mat. I've gone for this one because this is the obvious position of it with the circle. It makes it nice and easy for me to have a start point. You can see that the fit's really lovely around there. That's not supposed to be dented in, so that's just... I'm just wondering, by the time I've bolted the seat down, I'm just going to have a big seat piece on there, and plus this here, I'm going to have to make a hole for the seat belt. That's going to be pretty secure. I can't see that wanting to flap up very much. The other thing about, we were talking earlier about how I don't want to glue everything, so that's what the reference I'm referencing. If I glue this down at the front here, I won't be able to get access to this, which I use as quite it's a bit black in there, but that's because I've just painted it all to stop it rusting. But it's a nice little storage area, and actually this carpet might act as quite a nice cover for that. So I'm hoping that when the bottom carpet's on, it will sort of hold it in place, and I can just have some essential tools or whatever in there for emergencies. Oh, here we are, guys. Slight problem. I've just realised that I'm a piece short from my kit, so I've not got the walkthrough piece. Just checked online to make sure I hadn't made a mistake and ordered the wrong kit, or a kit that didn't have a centrepiece, but it did. It's supposed to have 7 pieces and I've only got 6. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the door piece, the football piece, which is in the house at the moment, 6. So I've just messaged them. Hopefully they'll get back to me. It is a Sunday, so I probably won't hear from them today. I'm just going to crack on with what I've got. I'll keep hold of the old piece because I was having trouble getting the walkthrough piece here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bolt this back down. So I'm going to bolt down the captain's seat swivel, which is over there with the oil can on it. I'm just putting a bit of grease on. I'm using a brush so I don't get it all over my fingers because I've got carpet to deal with. So what you have to remember with the captain's chair is this square piece is the piece that actually swivels. This piece actually swivels, the circle piece stays still. And so it swivels on. That piece swivels on there, and also because the circle piece is staying still, you get a bit. It swivels against the top as well. So you put grease on the top and the bottom. When we come to bolt it down, we've got to be careful about how hard we bolt it down, because if we bolt it down too hard, it won't move. That's why these nuts are nylock nuts, so that you can bolt it down just enough for it to turn, but so that it's not loose. And if you didn't have nylock nuts, you just work the way loose because they're not fully tightened up. Yeah, so you have to get it into position once the spring out, and then perhaps do that. That's better. And try not to lose the position. Try and get this back in position. There we are. Well, that was fun. But you can see you're not the only one that struggles on a 13mm socket. So I won't twist because this plunger, you push this plunger down, this engages and it should twist. So it seems to me like we're too tight somewhere. That felt like he was the tightest. It's not an, you don't want it to be too easy, but equally you don't want it to be too hard. You want to make sure you've not got too much play in there. So that little half a turn on there made all the difference. So the idea is once the seat's on there, you can spin around. Once you let go of that, it'll spin all the way around. Let's check it while we're here. And then it will lock into the other position, facing that way. Worth checking that whilst we've got the carpet on to make sure that's good. If I like that, you can still get access to your clip nice and easy. Still seems to be following that line reasonably well. Might be tempted to put a little bit of dollop of glue there. Still you have to get into that if you need to. This corner here is going to be held down with that bolt, which you'll see me do next. And then that ain't going to need to be glued down, it's not going to flap up a little piece. So next up is cutting a hole for all that. I feel it with my finger where it is. I'm just cut a cross on it. I'm hoping I'll get the bolt through that. goes now. Oops, little review of what we're up to. So this top piece, let's lock this top piece. We put this on first, we screwed it down there, and we've got this holding it that down. So the only bit of glue that was required was just here. Put a little bit down on there to stop that. This flaps up so I can get into there. What I'm going to do is see if I can get some Velcro, put some Velcro, sticky Velcro on there, so that I can Velcro that down. Like so, and then that will just Velcro down, and then I'll have that for access to anything that I need in an emergency. This back piece, the side and piece that runs around the side, you've got to put a certain amount of glue on that, so it's just going to fall off. It's not really glued at the bottom because there's not really a flat surface to glue to, so it's sort of glued up the side and along the top, and then down the side there's like holes, so there's just verticals, so I've just glued the verticals and along. I've left a bit of a, I've tried to run this line across along that top there, which leaves a little gap at the bottom here, but that's fine because when the bottom piece goes in, that'll hopefully fill the gap. Same on this side, I've tried to make that line follow there rather than worry about trying to get it flat to the bottom. There's a little gap, but when the other carpet goes under it'll be fine. Again with this, there's little gaps, there's holes in the metalwork, so I've just done the verticals. I feel like these sort of pieces are very unlikely to have to come off again anyway. I'm now stuck a little bit. I've run out of glue, just been using that. I can't even remember where I got that from, probably Screwfix or something like that for another project, and that's just what I had in the shed. It's just spray on contact adhesive. So around here on the driver's side, just trying to put this one in. I just want to try and get them in the right location. I want to try and cut to where the runners go, and I want to try and get those in the right location. So what I've done is I've made the hole in the carpet. I'm going to tighten this down. I'm going to set the carpet so that it looks, so it's nice and flush across the back there, and it's following this line, this contour on the van there. What it's supposed to do, I think. And then if I tighten down at that, that will hold that in place, and then I can start cutting into here to try and get a nice clean line, so that when I get the runners on, it'll work. So I'll get back to you. I'm going to tighten this up now, and I'll get back to you with a bit more information in. So as you can see, we're bolted down nice and firm the carpet, running just down that line nicely. I want it to run. So that's the right position for it. Going down there nicely. Which I'm 100% happy with it, so I'm just going to adjust that a little bit more. Right. And then I can feel down the side, just to look underneath and have a look at what you're cutting. So you can see you want to be, sorry about all the moving around, you want to be cutting down this edge, not around that, you go underneath that, but you want to be cutting down that edge and down that edge so that it's out of the way, so that the runners can work properly. And if you can get a nice straight line down that edge, you'll get a nice finish. That's what we're looking for. So we'll probably cut a bit high and then tuck it in, then try and finish it with a second cut. A bit of tape there, it's not very strong, it's not strong enough for a permanent fix, but it's just stopping that moving. What I'm trying to do is find one of these. I'm going to use the lines in the carpet, and I'm going to find, if that's the edge there, I'm going to probably come in like two lines so that I know I'm not over the edge. Cut down that one line all the way to the end, and then see if I'll probably have to do another cut, but I'd rather do 2 cuts than get it wrong on the first one, because this cut here is the most visible. The inside one can be a bit rougher with it. Just try and get it right first time, and if it's not right first time, it don't matter, but this one could be visible. So that's what I'm going to try and do. It's really hard to pick up, but I can feel with my finger that that's the edge there. So I'll come in 2 to there. I should be well comfortably safe, so that's what I'm going to do. So zoom back a bit so you can see where we are. Right, you can see here, this is where I started 2 in. I felt it was there, and I went 2 lines in, and then I started to go down 2 lines. But as you can see, I've got to about here, and I'm now, it's hard to say, but that's probably where I want it to be, just pushing down the side of there. So if I keep going down, I'm going to come away from it. So it seems like that's not parallel to that, or maybe I've not got this perfectly square, so that's something to be, sorry, that there is probably not parallel to the edge. So it's something to be aware of. Start from one end, because what I should have done was just cut straight down the middle, wiggled it around a bit, and then just come from there. So I'm going to start from here now. I'm going to go in 2 again, and go along on that line until I get to the end, and I can tidy it up afterwards, just to get this edge good. Right guys, you can see now that I cut, the first cut I did was well inside, but as I've come down it's drifted to being almost perfect here. So I stepped back in and cut it a bit further, and what happened then, it started to drift about there. And then it won't work. What I found works really well is if you can disconnect it, take it off this sticky bit here that I put on, and you can lie it down and you can push it in now up against that edge, and you can see how it's lying. So I can see that tapers away, and I really want that to be more there, so that I've got it tight over there. So it's tighter at that side, so that means it's got to go in a bit more, which means I've got to take a little bit off there. There's a bit of a gap there, but I can take a bit more off there and it'll go over a little bit, and then maybe I can trim back. What I've also found is if you start trying to get in there with a Stanley knife blade, take your slithers off, it's rubbish. Sharp scissors seem to be doing better, so let me keep playing with it, see how I get on. This is the, like I say, this is the one to get, this is the most important one to get right, because this is the most visible one. Right, back again guys, you can see now, if you look down here, I'll follow this line, got it in as tight as I can. Got a little bit wonky here with a few bits and bobs, and then a bit more wonky here. Didn't pay enough attention to what was going on here, but you can't go in and across, because you've got to have enough room, because this seat's got to get on there and it's got to run all the way down. So you've got to have that cut to there. Just perhaps don't need it quite so far away as that. But that then gives me a good enough line. I'm happy with when that's flat, it's a nice line, it's reasonably even down there. So then what I did was I just cut across the end of there with a Stanley blade. Now a little mistake I've made here is I've gone too far back, because this runner here, you see here, this piece where my finger is, that's the stop. So nothing goes back that far anyway. But I can leave that on, because again it'll be invisible. So you only need to get to there. And then again I've cut across to there, so that now I can fold that back and expose the other side. And I can just cut along there, and I'll probably do it with some scissors, and then that'll be exposed nice and simple. But definitely good scissors is a good idea, something that I wouldn't have thought about, but now I've tried it, worked really well. It's time to look at the other side of the driver's seat. If you look here, you can see that runner doesn't run parallel to that edge, and so if that one's not running parallel to that edge, it's highly likely that the other one isn't running parallel either, which is probably what's throwing me off when I've tried to use those lines as guides. So this time I won't make that mistake. So really it's important for me on this one to make sure that these 2 green pieces meet up nicely, but also that I've got at the front here. I can wiggle my way around with that, trashing the place. I've got a nice cover that flaps down the front. Again, this is going to be lifted to give me access to brake fluid. What I'm thinking of doing with these is putting some Velcro on there and some Velcro on here, so that I can access into there, put Velcro it down, Velcro onto there and into there, so I should get hold of some Velcro once I've got it all fitted down. So I haven't managed to get the last tiny little squirt of glue out of there and just do this corner down here, so that's holding in position. So that piece now, if it stays how it is, I might want to do something with this again, a bit more glue or something, but it's had a spot down there of glue, it's bolted there, and that's the only thing that's holding it. This little tab here, which is the one that stops the seat from coming out all the way forward, he's actually helping as well because he holds it down, but there's nothing under there that's holding any of that down. It's just the weight of the carpet and the tension between there and that glue, so hopefully that will be enough. Like I say, I'm trying to reduce gluing as much as I can. I have put a little bit of double-sided tape under there, all the way down there, because I ran out of glue. It keeps lifting up. It won't matter, I'll be able to lift it and put some glue under there if I have any problems with it. Like I say, I could put the seat back on there now, but I'm not going to, because I'm going to start on this piece. So the front carpet comes with standard holes in. So the big hole goes around the bottom of the steering, clutch, brake, accelerator, handbrake. This part goes around the bottom of the ducting there. This side's plain, so it's all sorted. The only issue I've got is this is the hole for the shifter, because it's a standard shifter, and as you can see, previous owners put a Gene Berg into mine, which I'm not changing because I like it, so I have to just cut around it. Just before we do start, notice the white piece of foam there around the clutch, and that one's got a black piece round, which is the original. That one had come off, so I just got some foam from some packaging, some stuff that's going to be waterproof, so some closed cell foam, and just cut me a piece with a Stanley knife, just so that you know, it just gives you a little bit of a seal from the world outside. There is a seal underneath, but it's not in very good condition. I think they discontinued those seals underneath as well, so virtually impossible to get a hold of, so you just got to do something. Wow guys, that went straight in really easy. This part seems to be reasonably lined up. It all seems to be ever so slightly that way, the carpet, but I tried to pull it this way, but then it's fouling on the hinge part there, so it might be just something I have to live with. What I did was I cut the hole. This hole here is still the original hole that was in it, and it had a separate hole for the handbrake, and what I did was I joined those two holes together, just cut straight, joined them so that I could sort of fold it in half. So now I can sort of cut into this and work it around, and then I can just use a Stanley knife to try and get a tidy finish there, and the other half should just drop in. So I'm hoping it'll be quite a simple sort out. It's sitting down lovely in here, which is nice. It also seems to sort of come up over the top of these, which is good. Just stops them flapping about when you're not using them. There we are guys, all back together. Still got my annoyingly different original seat and replica seat. I've had people trying to tell me that, oh, it's because that one's faded and this one hasn't, and it's like, no, this one's got more colours in it. It's just got more colours. So I'm not having it that it's that. Anyway, let's get back to the carpets. The carpets are in, supposed to be green. I feel like they're way off the original green. There's the original green. Oh, they're way off the original green. But this carpet that I put in the back here was way off, and it's actually not far off that. So you know, that's a fortunate coincidence for me. It's not completely finished because I'm waiting for this piece that goes down the middle, but that's just going to be literally spray a bit of glue on it, light in. These pieces are all in. Any loose bits like this that are not looking right, I'll glue later, but I'm really quite happy how it's all gone. A little tiny maybe I need to just do a little bit more here where this is just lifting, but that's because I need to just cut in a little bit more. But I'm going to call it quits for this video. I feel like we've gone far enough. You can see how we go. Like I said, I got this from Mad Matz. I'll probably update you as to whether or not I get that piece. I'll be very disappointed with Mad Matz if I don't, because I'm not scamming them or anything. I genuinely haven't received the part. If you're not sure who Mad Matz are, this is there. You get one of these when you buy stuff from them, an air freshener Mad Matz on, that's their website. Again, I am not affiliated with them. I do not get any money for you using them. I'm not saying they're the best, but you know, this kit did fit pretty well. Little bits like this that are not quite right, but that's just because I'm waiting for stuff so I can, so that one's velcroing in position like that. This again wants just some bits and bobs, but I'm waiting for glue to tidy it up, and I'll be happy with that. There you go. It's up to you whether you prefer to do that or whether you prefer to go original. Those two seats being different is really annoying me the more and more I look at it. Spent so much time doing those seats. Anyway guys, thanks for watching.